Welcome back, guys. This is the We Got It podcast. The We Got It podcast, as you guys probably know by now, is an official podcast of Spartans Illustrated.
Wait, what? It is?
It's an official podcast of Spartans Illustrated. If you ever checked out any of their work, check them out at SpartansIllustrated.com in the App Store. Spartans Illustrated. There's just so much content going on over there in pretty much any format that you can imagine. We have it over at Spartans Illustrated. So I know if you're like me and Abby, you can't get enough Michigan State basketball this time of year. So get your fixing in over at Spartans Illustrated.
Wait, where?
Spartans Illustrated. But yeah, it's a fun time of year. We're nearly there. We're nearly to tournament time.
Crazy.
Michigan State last night locked in a triple bye in the Big Ten tournament. Also locked in a top 3 seed in the Big Ten tournament in Chicago next week after defeating Rutgers. It was a game of all games.
Yeah,
I'll say
it
that.
Was a game.
It was a game.
It was Rutgers. It was senior night. We won. It's done. Woohoo.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I think that's all the recap that we need for that game, if I'm being honest.
No,
but
I know. We're gonna do that recap, but just in more words, because that's what a podcast is. If you really want our after game, so exhausted, basically 2 a.m. thoughts, be sure to head over to Spartans Illustrated on YouTube, find the Red Cedar Radar podcast with our very good friend, Sydney Paget. Gosh, I just can't say enough about her. I'm just going to go off on a whole thing. She is just multifaceted journalistic talent. Her photography is insane. Writing fantastic content, putting out a video podcast, writing poems, she
does
it
awesome.
all.
She really does it all.
Really does it all. We're so honored to be able to join on Red Cedar Radar a few times now this season.
Yeah.
So again, if you want more of our unfiltered after game thoughts and clearly me not understanding anything about games while I'm watching them because I'm just so caught up in the moment, you can listen to me ramble on about needing more points in the paint when I'm 46. Which maybe is a great segue into the Rutgers game. And I'm just starting us off on a very high note because 12 of those 46 points in the paint came off of back to back to back to back dunks. First three from frickin' Cohen Carr. I still literally do not understand the physics or mechanics of how the second one went in. You could slow it down. I still don't understand it. And then the last one came from none other than Jordan freaking Scott. Oh my gosh. I literally love him.
It was a fever dream, if I'm being honest, being at the Breslin
I
Center.
legitimately blacked out.
It was just kind of like Groundhog Day. You were just playing the same moment over and over and over again in a 70-second time span.
Yeah, I think my brother-in-law went back and looked at it, and it was 100 seconds of I don't even think of gameplay, of just physical living time. Living time. I don't know how else to explain this. I found my way into the Izzone last night, which was quite literally a dream come true of mine. Spring break, I grabbed a ticket. I went down there. It was amazing. That sequence was just, I can't explain.
I know. You texted me right after that happened. You said, I legit think that was the top 5 moment of my life.
Stand by that today. 100%. I thought that I couldn't have my perspective of where the ground was shaken. I thought, your body just knows where up is and down is in that moment. No idea. Everything was bouncing. Everything was erupting. It just doesn't get better than that. And I think it shows too, just the way the guys... Okay, and this is also just mental, right? Cohen just casually throws down 3 slams back to back to back. And then the ones that everybody on the team gets hyped up for is Jordan Scott. Just putting his shoulder down, putting his head down, driving, and just making it happen. I think on so many levels that dunk was incredible, mostly just because it showed his grit, especially after a pretty tumultuous, rough first half for Jordan, for him to just decide no, I'm taking this to the hoop and taking care of business.
Yeah.
So phenomenal.
And I think honestly, like, it takes some confidence for him to do that
Yes.
after seeing what Cohen Carr just did.
Yes.
Like, that was me. I'd be like, I'll just lay this in. Like, I can't top.
Yes.
And obviously, it wasn't to the same level of the dunks of Cohen's, but to still have that confidence, go to the rim with that aggression, like,
I love that
give it
kid.
to me, young fella. Give me more of that in March. Like, he's a freshman. He's like 150 pounds, 6'8".
And this is where, like, okay, we talk a lot about, like, who's your Spartan? You and I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, there's so many wonderful, like, any given day, I feel like my favorite could maybe shift a little bit, but my love for Jordan Scott never does. I can't say enough good things about him. I'm so excited to see him in tournament play. Rutgers game, though. Let's talk about the first half briefly, because I don't really want to spend much more time on it than we need to. Paul Fanson, Dr. Green and White made a great, or no, you made a great observation.
Probably. I make a lot of great points.
Again, it was late last night. We shot 11 field goals.
We made 11 field goals, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Made 11 field goals in the first half and committed 10 turnovers.
Not a great ratio. Not a winning ratio. Not a dancing long in March ratio.
Somehow went into halftime up a point, mostly because of Cohen Carr just swishing his free throws. Like, more of that, please.
8 for 8 on the night, Cohen. Come on, more of that.
They were beautiful.
Yes.
Like, no bobble, no hesitation, just sinking them in. So, huge show. I mean, really, Cam Ward and Cohen Carr, points-wise and in every other aspect of the game, just, like, muscled the Spartans through the first half, especially when you consider we had 10 turnovers, many of them unforced. And I think it was cool to see, right? Like, you think it's senior night, you're like, oh, seniors are going to step up, which that in and of itself, I think, is, like, so much pressure on them. Really cool to see, like, the next generation, whatever you want to say, of Spartans just stepping it up in that first half and knowing that, I mean, again, knock on wood, I don't think Cohen's going anywhere. Somebody asked me that the other day, and I was like, maybe I'm just delusional, but, like, my immediate knee-jerk reaction was like, no, he's not going anywhere.
Where'd he go?
Like, do you think he'd go to the NBA? But I don't know. We'll see. But
yes,
having Cam Ward back next year, having Cohen back next year gets me really pumped up.
Yeah, and I think you can look at the first half in one of two ways. Like, you can look at it like, oh man, like, if we play like this in the first half in March, the run's going to be very, very short. Yeah. But maybe if you can spin it in a way that, say, like, Michigan State had one more field goal than turnover in the first half and still went into halftime with a lead. And I know we've talked about a lot on just, like, Michigan State's margin for error and consistency. And obviously, Rutgers is not to the caliber of team that you're going to see in March. And there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be a lot less forgiving than what they did in the first half against Rutgers. But the fact that you can play that sloppy, that it seemed like some of those guys didn't really want to be out there that much, or just weren't locked in that first half. Yeah. And to still have a lead going into the first half, like, maybe that's a way we can spin it to say, like, this team can still turn the ball over 10 times in a half and still go into halftime with a lead.
And I also think, like, at some point, like, what do you take away from this? Like, it's senior night at home versus Rutgers. Like, they gave us a tough time on the road. Like, they're a physical team. Steve Peichel clearly is not going to quit at any point, which, you know, respect
Credit
to him
Rutgers.
For sure. And just them continuing to grind out that game, which I think kind of carries us then into the second half. We already talked about the best highlight of that. Again, the back-to-back dunks. I'm just never going to get over that. Fears. I view this as a positive thing, right? You can feel many different kinds of ways about the fouls that were assessed against him. You can feel many types of ways about the technical foul that was assessed against him. I think Tom said it all in his post-game presser. He accepted a lot of responsibility for that. Apparently, that's a rule. I think that it's still a rule that is open to interpretation, of using the scoreboard to, I don't know, show up the refs. Apparently.
So silly.
Anyway, so many thoughts on that. However, right, so like positive is that Jeremy played many minutes. I don't have the exact minutes because I'm not a numbers person, with 4 fouls and still managed to defend well, play well, limit his turnovers. Like, that to me was impressive. And I think it is important for the Spartans coaching staff, team members to realize, like, especially having Divine out, Jeremy's room for error and picking up fouls is small. And when he does pick up fouls, it is a huge impact on the game. Jeremy fears having his minutes limited, honestly, is like one of my biggest, no pun intended, fears for March. So one, like, how do we not have Jeremy pick up fouls? And then 2, if he does, what do we do? I don't love the current solution.
I think there's not really a whole lot for what do we do yet. Maybe they'll figure something out.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we saw how that went against Rutgers. So, you know, maybe this gets some wheels turning of some maybe other options. I don't know. Maybe we put Jordan Scott back there and let him bring the ball down the court. He's done it a few times. He's done a pretty dang good job. And he knows how to play defense.
Granted, his dress rehearsal at the end was not very positive, but maybe you put Trey Fort in there. I don't know, somebody to just give a different look, different dynamic.
This is a hot take. I don't think you can read anything into that endgame situation last night. Like, it was just dumb. Tom is trying to get his seniors in so they can kiss the floor during the game. Rutgers is full court pressing. That's never something
Making their last
Michigan
9 shots
State
of the
does
circus shots of the
great
game.
Job of breaking when inbounding the ball. Again, maybe a positive that you can take away from that. We saw it heading into tournament time. Sorry, I'm just going off on a whole thing. I just don't want to make too big of a deal of the last minute and a half because it was just silly. And even though it felt like, ooh, I don't like this, like, there was never a doubt in my mind that the Spartans were going to win that game.
Right, and that's not going to be a strategy you see Michigan State deploy at all the rest of the season.
We're not going to be taking 3 of our starters out in a minute with a minute and a half to go up 10 or
when
whatever.
It's do or die time, for sure.
So, sorry, many thoughts there.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously Michigan State turned it on in the second half, started off right off the gate, 7-0 run. Obviously the sequence that we talked about with
in like less than a minute and a half, too.
Ballooned their lead up to 19 at one point. And really, like, when Michigan State took that lead into halftime, it was like, okay, like, Michigan State's going to win this game. They made us maybe sweat more than we needed to or wanted to, like you said, because of the senior day activities. But like I said, locked Michigan State into that 2 or the 3 seed Big Ten tournament. Won't be playing until Friday night. Likely lined up on the opposite side as not only Michigan, but also Purdue and Illinois, who I would say are probably the 3 best teams that
I will take Nebraska on our side all day.
Yeah, opportunity for payback against Nebraska. Obviously, I think that first
the gun over here, but
round game might still be tough against either Wisconsin or UCLA, but Michigan State set itself up so much better than maybe we thought this was going to go. Even a week and a half ago before that Purdue game.
And maybe I'm really delusional, especially considering that Wisconsin knocked us out in the Big Ten tournament last year. But I don't know. I'd not welcome Wisconsin again in the Big Ten tournament, but I think I'd rather see them than Purdue or Michigan. Or, you know what I mean? Like, on our side of the bracket.
And I think, too, like, really the Big Ten tournament is a time where you can kind of get opportunities for that payback without, like, the consequences being significant. You know, like, Michigan State's going to be in the tournament. Their season's not going to be over if they lose in the Big Ten tournament. So why not get a swing at a team that bested you? Wouldn't I mean, can you imagine beating Wisconsin first round, beating Nebraska second round, and then playing for the Big Ten tournament title on Sunday? Like, sets up for Michigan State to have kind of a little bit of a revenge tour next week.
I'm all about the revenge. As petty as that is, we all know that I am not above being petty. Okay, this is something I'm thinking about. And I'm an external processor, so we're going to external process together. Doesn't it say a lot of the Big Ten that Michigan State is projected to be a 2 or 3 seed overall in the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah.
and also a 2 or 3 seed in the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think the top of the Big Ten this year is obviously very talented. I mean, you've had 5 teams kind of in and out of the top 10 really all season long.
Right.
And I mean, for Michigan State, like to be, I mean, really haven't been in the Big Ten title race for a couple weeks ago. I mean, obviously, speaks a lot to Michigan's season, but the fact that they really haven't been late in the season competing for a Big Ten title, still competing for being one of the top 8 teams in NCAA tournament, I think it does speak to just the strength of the Big Ten overall.
Right. Yeah, that's what I just can't get my head wrapped around. Of all the teams in the country, out of the 64 teams that are in the tournament, like, you're fighting to have the same seed in your own conference that you are in the whole country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Maybe I'm just thinking about that weird, but that was the thought that I had.
No, definitely. We don't want to spend too much time on this game because we have bigger fish to fry, and we have a special guest coming up for you guys. I know. We haven't even mentioned it. Hopefully we can put it in the episode title. That way people can know ahead of time.
Do not go anywhere.
We got Matt Sheehan joining us after our halftime updates.
The LockedOn Spartans
the LockedOn Spartans. So make sure you stick around after halftime to hear us kind of preview that Michigan game.
Because it's rivalry, not week, but rivalry weekend.
Yeah, rivalry weekend.
We got a lot of feelings to stuff in before Sunday, and we're going to get into all of them.
Yeah, so we have a lot of good topics and conversation that we get into with Matt, so please stick around after halftime.
Dude, he's just so fun.
He is a blast.
It's so fun having him on. And, like, so knowledgeable, and somehow makes you, like, learn things, and you don't even realize that you're learning things. And
he really is, like, the dean of the online Michigan State 100%.
Community. 100%. Everything goes through Matt Sheehan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's the godfather of Michigan State's online presence.
Yes. Just all the terms of leadership and mob bossing.
Yes, that's him. The fireball sommelier.
All right, we got halftime updates.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep going with my cringy little what do I do this time? Do. Okay, that sounds really lame. I need like a more up tempo. Okay, it's halftime. Your Spartans. Okay, we talked about this. This is where women know ball. My sister and I were talking about
women know puck.
That sounds strange. Pause. My sister and I were talking about Lisa. Shout out to her. She is honestly the brains behind all of my sports knowledge, and Jonah. Before last episode, when we were talking about what Michigan State hockey needed to do to lock up the Big Ten title, and her and I were saying, like, yeah, we need 3 points to win it outright and 2 points to win a share. And then, of course, I come back, I talk to Jonah, and he tells me 3 points and 4 points, and I just assumed. I was like, the man knows what's right. No, I love you so much, Jonah, and you are so right about
I led you astray. No, it's true.
However, your boys only needed 3 points to lock up the Big Ten regular season title outright, and they did that last night.
Boy, did they lock it up.
In Minnesota in spectacular fashion. The men's ice hockey team won their game by more points than the men's basketball team did last night. 7-1?
7-1. They left no doubt on the weekend for hockey. Not only the Big Ten champs, though, they are back to back to back.
Just Big like those Cohen car dunks.
Yeah. It was the night of back to back to back
accomplishments.
Yes.
Of various types. Anyway, heck yeah, your men's hockey team. I don't know why I say men's. I don't think there is a women's hockey team at Michigan State, at least not varsity. Yeah, no kidding, especially after watching the Olympics.
And how many of those girls are from Michigan? Like, let's get some programs for them to play in the state. Come on, what are we even doing here?
Everybody watches women's sports. If you don't, you're missing out, and you should make some life changes.
Speaking of women's sports, I know we've kind of talked about the Big Ten tournament for the men's. This week is actually the Big Ten tournament for the women's down in Indianapolis. And kind of how you were talking about the men's seeding, Michigan State women's team was in the initial NCAA's top 16 in their initial bracket, fighting for that top 4 seed to get the chance to host 2 games at the Breslin Center at the NCAA tournament. But they were the 7 seed in the Big Ten tournament. That just shows how literally elite the Big Ten women's conference is this season, where you have the 7 seed in the Big Ten fighting for a top 4 seed in the
top
NCAA.
16 team in the whole country. That's mental.
But unfortunately, their start to the Big Ten tournament did not go to plan, as they fell to Illinois.
71-69, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. I think they lost by 3 points.
Okay. Something like that.
Had
Again,
a chance.
I'm not the numbers girl.
Really late to either tie or take the lead. Just some costly turnovers by the Spartans, kind of bend their Achilles heels at time this season. But shout out Kennedy Blair for the Spartans. She went nutty against the Illini. I think she had 32 points.
That's mental. Oh my goodness.
Inefficient too. She was like 12 of 18 from the field.
My heavens.
Doing it all for the Spartans, really keeping them in this game when a lot of the other players maybe didn't have their best night. I think really Kennedy carried this team on her back. But obviously, disappointing end to the Big Ten season for the women. And even though they probably now won't be hosting those first 2 rounds at the Breslin, very much are a team to keep an eye out in the NCAA tournament to do some damage. This team, I think, can definitely can compete with a lot of teams. So it'll be fun to see how the Spartans come out in the selection show, what their draw looks like, and hopefully they can have some success. And now their 3rd consecutive NCAA tournament appearance.
Yeah, which is in and of itself like no small feat whatsoever. Like you said, just with the toughness of the Big Ten, there are just some incredible programs, women's basketball programs in the United States. And you can't take that for granted. And so Robin Freilich is just...
Yeah, definitely has that program in the right direction, in the right place. So, but don't go anywhere. Those are our halftime updates. Right after this, we're going to be joined by Matt Sheehan, so don't go anywhere. We are joined by a very special guest.
Heck yeah.
Very beloved and treasured by the Spartan community. The Mr. Dr. Matt Sheehan of LockedOn Spartans. Welcome, Matt.
Also known better maybe as Fireball Sommelier.
That's my formal name, right? Like Doctor was nice, Beloved was great enough. It is Fireball Sommelier. That's right. It says it right there on my driver's license. No, thanks a lot for having me, guys. I'm fired up to be on. All times would be a great time, but this time of year, holy smokes, this is the best. I love this time of year. This is the best.
I know, you just get that feeling in your stomach this time of year. You can turn the TV on at noon, and there's just basketball on all day, every day. Doesn't get much better, I don't think, than March, Michigan State in March, and it's going to be an eventful couple weeks, and we got a lot of stuff coming up for this Spartans team.
Not even the thunderstorm and rains can dampen my joy from being in the zone last night, and Michigan State sports just carries you through.
There's nothing to smile about except that basketball team in East Lansing. Yeah. That's my only reason for doing this every single day. It's not the 2 kids that are upstairs right now running around. No. It's for the 12 to 13 players on Michigan State basketball that do it once or twice a week. That's what it's all about, baby. That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah, and we're going to kind of look past the debacle of the ending of last night's game. Rutgers game is over. It's in the past.
Sure.
We got a big one coming up, the big one, perhaps this weekend, Sunday night at the Chrysler Center. But before we get there, Matt, I want to ask you, when you wake up in the morning, when you're falling asleep at night, what is your internal monologue about this team? Not when you have time to pull up Ken Pom or to reason with yourself, but what is your internal monologue right now as we're heading into March about this basketball team?
Final Four banner number 9 is in Izzo's sights. Like, I don't think it's an impossibility here, and boy, does that picture look a lot clearer thanks to what happened the last week before they even, got on the bus or the plane, however they got to Purdue in the first place. I mean, after those 2 games on the road, in the fashion of which they won those games, look, I think that there's still work to be done. There are still some issues with this team that might, hold them from national title number 2, but that defense and these, oftentimes games where they're shooting the ball like they have in the state of Indiana, Jonah, Abby, it's number 9, which is what I'm thinking about. Last thing before I go to bed, first thing in the morning. So
I love it.
There's no way this comes back to bite me, but that's what I'm thinking. I have reborn optimism in this team that went away for just a little bit in February, but man, Purdue, Indiana, Rutgers, yeah, no, we're back to dreaming. We're back to dreaming.
And you mentioned Indiana, and people know the Final Four this year is in Indianapolis, so.
Yeah,
I think the biggest hurdle for Michigan State's probably just getting to Indiana, because once they get to Indiana,
it's great. It's
can't
all
lose.
They're undefeated.
I mean, if Kurt
Tang
keeps shooting 75% there, that would.
Right,
yeah.
It's the air in Indiana that Kurt Tang just breathes in, and he just produces fire from behind the arc. Yeah, I think that's her bread and butter right there. Just by any means necessary, get to that beautiful state. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, this team has given us some reasons for concern in February, but what time as a team does not give us some reason for concern in February?
It's part of the
ride. It seems like every single year, Michigan State seems to go on this run right before tournament time, and they got a big one, obviously, on Sunday going into Chrysler against Michigan, a team you already lost to, a team that's already locked up the Big Ten championship, as much as it pains us to admit that and say those words out loud. But let's talk about that game a little bit. I think there's a lot of storylines heading into this game as far as what it could mean for both teams, what it could mean for some individual players. But aside from maybe just winning this game, which would obviously be amazing, what are you looking from this team going into Sunday as we then head into the Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament? What do you need to see that's going to kind of maybe push aside maybe some of those worries or concerns that you might have in the back of your mind?
Something that we really didn't see the last time these two teams met, and that was production from the 2-guard spot. Now, Jordan Scott, he had 10 points, but outside of him, it was Divine Ukachukwu, Trey Fort got some run, and Kurt Tang. They all combined for not even 0 points, but they barely even shot the ball collectively between those 3. Obviously, Divine no longer here. Obviously, Jordan Scott now starting at the 2. Can you get more than absolutely nothing against a pretty solid Michigan defense out of your 2-guard position? Because that is an all-important position as you head into March. And also, guys, it's not possible they start the game like as bad as they did last time, right? I mean, or am I just jinxing this to oblivion?
No.
Because,
I mean, I'll knock on some wood over here, but no,
yeah, you don't want to
I
say
don't.
I'll join the party. Yeah. Because, look, I don't want to come and say that they were just scared of the moment. I mean, I think it's a little more nuanced than that, but they were a little timid against the Michigan front court to get up some good shots. I feel like to start last game against Michigan, look, obviously that's a very formidable front court, the best in the conference, maybe even the best in the nation. But I think that they were just looking for the perfect shot, and that bled down to way too late of shot clock situations. And then next thing you know it, okay, Michigan's going down off a turnover, and they're burying a shot, and you look up at the scoreboard, we're already down 11 points, basically. So, play a little more loose. Easier said than done, especially on the road. But, hey, these are all pressure moments from here on out. So, yeah, let's just start seeing this team, come out early, especially against the Michigan team. So, yeah, that's a 2-pack I got right there. Maybe even a 3. Better front court play, better start, and then the 2-guard. I'd like to see something more than a 0. That'd be cool, I think.
Right, and you'd like to hope that this team has a little bit more moxie and confidence after going into Mackey and to Assembly Hall and getting those victories. And obviously, too, you already faced this Michigan team. You've led against this Michigan team late in the second half. So, this team's got to know, right, that they can hang with this team and on any given night could knock off this team.
I think they can, and that defense is always going to be there, too, for them, right? I mean, it was there the last time these two teams met. That was why they were able to get that second half comeback. And, of course, as we know, they ran out of fuel at the very end of that game. But, I mean, this still is a team even despite, like, the games that have happened ever since Michigan, like that Wisconsin game, for example, like, more times than not, 99% of the time, they will be in every single game unless, like Wisconsin, they just shoot 80% from three to start the game, seemingly. So I'm hopeful. Am I expecting a win? I'm not necessarily. I feel bad saying that, but like I mean, I'm not chalking up to a 0% chance. I mean, this team is on the 2 seed line for a reason. They are going to be competitive, I think. So, we'll see. This game just needs to get here and already end, man.
Yeah, because thankfully, like, there's not a ton of pressure on Michigan State coming into this game. I think there was probably a lot more pressure in the first game, kind of defending home court. The Big Ten title race was very much still a race at that point in this season. And now, like, Michigan State, a loss to Michigan, it's not going to affect their seed line, really, in the NCAA tournament. A win, though, could probably solidify them on that 2 line and maybe inch them into that conversation for that 4th 1 seed. So there's not a ton of pressure. There's not a ton that you can really lose from this game outside of obviously losing to your rival. But long term, I think the benefits of this game can really outweigh the negatives. I don't know. You agree?
I kind of like. I mean, to play devil's advocate here, I guess who's playing with more house money? Both teams might be coming into this matchup as loose as they ever will in the rivalry because, like you said, like the Big Ten tournament or the Big Ten championship isn't up for grabs, but they're playing for the 2 seed line. Would a loss bump you off that line? Maybe, probably not. But Michigan's already got pretty much everything locked up that they want, so. We're going to see some loose basketball, I think, and hopefully that's loose in a good way and not in a being erratic with the ball like they were in the first half against Rutgers kind of loose. I mean, there's 2 different ways to look at that word, but yeah, hopefully that they're playing a little free. But yeah, that's an interesting storyline here is like everything's pretty much locked up for both teams here. Let's just roll the ball out and see what happens.
And this is where my little Spartan soul just can't stay quiet because, like on the one hand, yes, from like a resume, metrics, whatever standpoint, like Michigan State has bigger fish to fry, right? Like you said, most things are locked up, probably not a lot shifting. No one's going to look at Michigan State losing on the road to top 5 team in the country and go, negatively impact them.
Yeah.
However, I was raised by Tom Izzo.
Let's go.
Rivalry week, rivalry game, is never going to not mean something to Spartan fans. And I can't tell you how badly I want to go into Chrysler and just give some payback. And one more thing is I am not going to put the respect on U of M fans. I've been in Chrysler. Winning in the Big Ten on the road, always so difficult. Chrysler is lame, man. Spartans, go in there, take over that trap. Like, come on, let's go.
It is not the loudest environment, I will say that. No,
I feel like I'm in like a theater. Like everyone's so like golf clapping and
like a little clapping after a matinee.
Come hang out in the Izzone, figure out how to do basketball.
I'm trying my best to like downplay it mentally. And I'm failing. Like, I know by the time I wake up Sunday morning, like I'm gonna want to just see heads on the court rolling. Right now, I'm trying to lie to myself, tell myself, like, hey, whatever happens on Sunday. It's all gravy.
We got to keep our cardiovascular health in check somewhat, right? Like, you got to only let yourself go there.
I know, because like enough scar tissue is going to be built up here the rest of March, but like, who are we kidding? I just got to stop lying to myself. Yeah, no, it will mean a lot Sunday if they win, even though everything's a foregone conclusion, championship-wise and seeding-wise. Like, let's get this to 3-1 on Izzo versus Dusty May. Yes. Oh, boy, the agendas we'll be building with their best team in a generation. Oh, yeah, let's go. No, I'm fired up now. Let's go. Come on.
One thing about this game, I think one of the biggest storylines is kind of as we're wrapping up the regular season, obviously Big Ten honors are going to be announced next week ahead of the tournament. It's kind of seemed like a 2-horse race for Big Ten Player of the Year between 2 players that are going to be in this game, Jeremy Fears and Yaxel Lendenberg. So, curious from your perspective, do you think like the voters in this game, do you think the Graham Couches, the Chris Solaris, they've already got their vote penned in? Or do you think this matchup could have a big play into who end up winning the Big Ten Player of the Year?
I truly do feel like that. I actually just talked about it on my show, LockedOn Spartans, with Chris Castellani, and not to be in an echo chamber, just us two bouncing the same opinion off, but it really does seem like That's what's happening. It's been an odd year in the sense that there's not really been a clear-cut favorite for Big Ten Player of the Year all season, whereas I feel like in years past, by the time you get to February, it's already pretty much locked up. But here we are. It's down to 2 guys, and would you look at that, they're playing in the final regular season college basketball game against one another. So, yeah, I think absolutely that this is going to play into whoever wins that award here. Now, should that mean the team wins, who has the better stat line? I have no idea how each voter is going to think about that, but yeah, I think Yax is going to end up winning this thing because, best player on the best team, and also, unfortunately, he is really good too. He is good on defense, but I think, of course, should be Jeremy Fears. We've seen the scoring. He's been a plus at that regard, but also his assist rate. What percentage of your teammates' field goals are you assisting? He is north of 50%. Since they started tracking that stat in 2008, he would only be the 5th college basketball player to do that. Like, this is rarefied air that he is in at the point guard position. And by the way, of those 5 guys, he'll have the lowest turnover percentage too. So, like, he gets it done. He's the straw that stirs the drink, or whatever cliche you want to pull out, because I also think there's something with this too, and this is kind of, voter by voter, how they define this award. He's definitely the most valuable on the team, to a team in the Big Ten. You take Jeremy Fears away, are we even talking about a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seed in March Madness, or are we just praying to get into the first 4 at this point? Whereas, look, Michigan loses Yax, I'll take a step back, but I still think that they're probably a 2 seed at worst. So, again, all up to the voters. I'm already ready to start, complaining about it, coping next week, but yeah, we'll see what happens Sunday. Hopefully that could change some votes right here.
That's interesting, I think, because, like you said, it's voter by voter, kind of, there's not super clear-cut criteria on how you got to vote for this thing. But the narratives are pretty juicy, I think, for both sides, depending on the result of this game. I mean, you got Yaxel. If Michigan wins, like you said, you got the best player on the best team who just went head-to-head to Michigan State twice and beat them. Like, what more of an argument do you really need? But then you got Jeremy, who, if they knock off Michigan and he has a good game, you got this guy who comes in, like you said, all the things you already mentioned about Jeremy, but then probably earns the best win of the season by any team, tied with Wisconsin. And then, how do you then take it away from Jeremy? So, depending on how these voters end up choosing, the narratives, I think, are going to become pretty juicy regardless of the outcome of this game. And I'll go out and say the winner of this game, that will be the player that earns Big Ten Player of the Year. That's my...
You have so much faith in people. I don't know, man. I just think there's so much politics and,
that is behind door number 3 here.
And I don't know. I want that to be true, that it's just, truly who has the most value, who's got the talent. But I don't know. I think there's things behind the scenes.
That's not life, right? Unfortunately so. I know. It's like the elephant in the room is, he tripped people 5 weeks ago. That's going to hold him from an award.
Right.
No, it's great. No, it's really cool when Rutgers they flop on the flagrant call and then Jeremy gets a technical for just pointing up at the scoreboard, and now you got the Fox national channel tweeting that out. That's cool. That's not disingenuous or anything. That really shows me that we're doing this straight by the book here. Thanks, guys. That's awesome. Yeah. Whatever.
And that's a good segue into my next question. Now that you bring up another narrative of the season.
Yes.
What do you think is more likely in this game?
Okay.
That Jeremy Fears gets reviewed for a flagrant foul, and we see 10 million.
You should have put that part second.
Yeah, I should have put that one second. Or there's some sort of late game scuffle between these two teams. I think it's pretty easy to see that these two teams don't really like each other, especially these iterations of the teams. There's
maybe the coaches
been beef between Izzo and Dusty. There's been beef with Fears and Yaxel with the tripping.
Can you imagine another U of M coach thrown down?
Oh, that'd be great. Just both of them getting in on it. Dusty May punches Tom Izzo. Izzo comes back, gets him in the throat. Oh, that's going to be a great time.
Work him up for some elder abuse. No offense, Tom. We love you.
but actually, I think it's got to be the flagrants most likely, right? I mean, even if it doesn't get called, even if it's just reviewed, that is going to be under what's the world's most powerful microscope that you could find? It's under that, this game. So I think that's got to be our leader here. I do wonder if there's going to be any nonsense at the end of the game. And maybe I'm just naive and stupid. I like to think that maybe not, because both teams still have like so much to play for the rest of their season. Like, why do anything stupid to, jeopardize any of that, your eligibility for the rest of the season? Then again, boy, when you're between that 94 feet of baseline in the heat of the moment, things can get squirrely. I mean, it can. Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll happen. But with this rivalry, you always got to brace for impact, right? Like, it's never a 0% chance. No. So let's roll the dice. Let's see what comes out here. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure it's going to be great discourse afterwards, should anything happen. Just can't wait for it. Whatever.
This is a dumb question. Can coaches request a review for a flagrant?
I think,
or is that only determined by referees?
I think they can.
And I think they learned in the Minnesota game, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm banking 100% on option number 1.
I think so, yeah.
I have zero faith that our good friend Dusty May won't utilize the narrative to his benefit.
Do you think it's in the first half, or does he wait till the second half to uncork it? Like, how early does he jump on this, do you think? Is it just the first ticky-tack thing, or? Okay.
This is probably first media timeout.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Good.
Yeah.
Right in the under 16. We're just going to get after it immediately. Okay. Yeah. I'd respect that a little bit.
I think option number 1 is foregone conclusion. If you could bet on that, it's free money. Right. I also don't think I think that both are going to happen, if I'm being honest.
Let's go. Now you talk juicy. That would be juicy. Last game of the college basketball season, and we just got Spartans Wolverines just leaving.
And I'm not saying like a brawl. I'm not talking about like Isaiah Stewart kind of hold me back kind of action. But
that's good.
There's going to be some kind of interaction where there's probably going to be a double technical late in the second half. We'll see. I just have a feeling there's some bad blood, and these teams don't really like each other, especially some of these players. So I think it's going to be a pretty juicy game on Sunday.
Will the bad blood, though, outweigh Tom just having these guys, like, on the straight and narrow? I don't know, man. I imagine Tom just
I think so. That's the thing, too. And also, I feel like to Dusty's credit, too, he might have his guys locked in, too. So, like, if this was, like, mid-January, the season isn't going well for either of these teams, like, maybe. But that one thing is just like, would anyone be willing to do anything stupid enough to have them, like, nixed from the, Big Ten tournament, or, God forbid, like, the NCAA tournament? I don't know. We'll see. I welcome it. I welcome it, but we'll see.
22-year-old guys out there, so anything can happen.
Yep, exactly.
So before we kind of look ahead to after this game, let's do one more question. Any hot takes or any bold takes for this game? Not necessarily a prediction
of the hot takes.
Outcome, but what's one bold take, hot take that you got for this game?
That's a really good one. Jackson Kohler double-double is what I'm feeling. He's got like what, a dozen of them though. That's not a hot take. That's so lame.
We might need something a little spicier, Matt. I know you can do better.
Okay, and this one I earnestly believe too. I'm not pulling it out of my you-know-what. Trey Ford, like 2 3-pointers that like shift the momentum of the game big time.
I would love it.
I feel like that counts as a hot take because
for him.
He's playing as much as we are lately. So I feel like that's a good hot take. But I can see them like, okay, offense is sputtering. Oh, God, we're down 11. This place is getting loud. Hey, Trey, you don't do much, but you do shoot the ball. You want to do that a few times, then he's going to come in, make his first 2 threes, and then, okay, 5-point game. Quieter Jim, more nervous Jim that we're playing in. So, yeah, give me like a Trey Fort moment in this game because why not? I feel like every other time that we've just chalked him up as to being out of the lineup for good, he's coming the next game and he's, buried like a shot or two that makes you realize, hey, that's right. He is a scholarship player and can actually do some good things here.
My dad definitely roasted me for one time on here. We were like, I just don't know if Trey's, like, we love him. I don't know if he's going to do too much. And then, I don't know, the next game, he, like, went off and my dad just immediately texted me and he was like, how's that hate towards Trey?
Isn't that fun how that works? Yeah, exactly.
I feel like we've been kind of saying this all year with him, where he's just kind of due for that moment.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
Where
so many times over.
You've seen flashes at times where like this guy can come in and change a game a little bit with his shooting, and I feel like we're still kind of due, and I think it's still in him. So I kind of like that take.
I do think it's hot though, because we've had so many opportunities, and again,
and the
all
last
love
time
to
we
him.
saw
I want to
him-
see it more than anyone, but it is a hot take.
And the way that the Rutgers game ended makes me think
Yeah.
that there is a chance that was it for him for good here. That's how
he might never see the
disastrous
court again, if we're being
finish
honest.
that was. So, but hey, that's what makes it hot. We're gonna get desperate. We're gonna
Yes.
call Trey's number, and yeah, it's fort time, baby. That's right. Let's go.
Yeah, well, obviously it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, a lot of storylines, probably going to be a lot of drama in this game, which
It's inevitable.
is inevitable, like you said,
Let's go.
Abby. But let's look ahead to the NCAA tournament a little bit. I know we talked
do it.
about Michigan State probably on that 2 line, but a chance, depending on how they finish, to drop to that 3 line. So we're going to pull up the bracket matrix right now, Matt, and I know you
Perfect.
are a big fan of the bracket matrix.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to list a couple 6 and 7 seed teams.
Okay.
And the kind of what we're going to do is, come Selection Sunday, we're going to list a team, and if that's that 6 or 7 that Michigan State would face in that second round, is your mouth going to be watering, or are you going to be terrified of that second round game?
Okay.
So let me pull up the matrix.
Okay.
Let's start with the 6 seeds, because 6 seeds, honestly, there's some interesting games, I feel like, if Michigan State were to get that 3 line.
I don't want to hear that.
Starting with Rick Pitino and St. John's. What would be your feeling if that's the 3 seed Michigan State is lined up against?
I think I'm the wrong person for this, because like when March comes around and I start looking at bracketologies, I realize I hate every team. Like I don't want to see any team. I turn into such a coward with my tail between my legs. But starting with that, look, St. John's has been just objectively fine this year, but you could always expect physicality out of a Pitino team, so it would be a bloodbath in that round. I think I would like it more than most. Just like I said, I don't like any team because I'm a wuss. I just am who I am. Yeah, it's not good. I'm sorry.
Honestly, looking at these 6 and 7 seeds, there's some 5 seeds that I'd be like, I'd probably rather play them than some of these teams on the 6 and 7 line. But let's go down another team. How about a rematch against Kentucky as a 6 seed?
Now that one, knock on wood, that one I actually would welcome. Because, I mean, whether it was a Champions Classic or any other time I've turned on Kentucky, save for one game when they went to Arkansas and they beat John Calipari in his own house. Outside of that, like the 7 or 8 times I've seen them, I leave the same way I left the Michigan State game. I'm wondering how on earth did that roster get up to, what was it, a rumored $15 million? Like, how was that money dispersed amongst these guys? Because these are all role players, so I would actually welcome that. That'd be fine with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world beating or facing off against a team that you just bulldozed off
That'd be
the
great.
court. I mean, I mean, you could be Wisconsin, who's another one of those. I don't think they'd probably be paired up against Wisconsin just because of the conference rules and bracketing and stuff. But moving down to the 7 line, there's some interesting teams again too. Kind of headlined by BYU, who had really high hopes going into the year, has kind of faltered, hasn't missed, got to expectations, but still has the projected number 1 pick in the NBA draft. What would be your thoughts if you see BYU in Michigan State's bracket?
That's it right there. It's just the number 1 pick, DeBonsta. Hey, right? Am I saying that name right, by the way? I think I've heard it pronounced like 5 different times. So, yeah, I'm going to go with him, though.
It's like everyone's trying to say about Chukwu.
Okay. Which, yeah, like, why is that an easier name to say? Whatever. No, like, yeah,
Somehow
I'm just,
people still get it wrong.
I'm in my family room right now, and we just got paired up to BYU, and yeah, all I can think about is just this number 1 overall pick just dropping a 38 hammer on us. But can you turn off
Jordan
the water?
Scott.
That we do have Jordan Scott and Colin Carr.
I mean,
who, like,
sorry, I just love that kid. I know they're not getting matched up, but the way he shut down Wagler, like
they might.
MSU's defense is just.
If you get a matchup like DeBonsta, like you're going to be seeing, he's going to be meeting every single Michigan State player on defense. They're just going to keep rotating guys over him. Hey, here's Mr. Scott. Here's Mr. Carr. Meet our good friend Carson Cooper. Like, it will be a shut off the water everywhere else. Let him get his 35 points. Kind of back in the day, like they did with Zion's Duke team. It's like, Zion's going to go crazy, but we're going to clamp down everyone else, and we're going to get out of here with the victory. So would I welcome it? No, of course not. But is there a path to victory? Absolutely there is, yeah.
Yeah, and I think this next team, I can honestly, I don't know where I stand on this. I could go both ways because there's a part of me that's like, sign me up right now, and there's part of me that's I want no part of this
nervous.
team. How about St. Mary's out of the West Coast Conference?
I've lost so much money on St. Mary's like the last few years, gambling on them, March Madness. I finally learned my lesson. That would be the single only team in March Madness, and let me just do this again, that I would be grinning like a Cheshire cat if we got paired up with them as a 7th seed. As a matter of fact, I would even doubt we see them because blindly, whoever the 10 seed is, I'm going to pick to beat them because I've had it. I'm done. I'm done believing in St. Mary's basketball. I don't care how many 25-year-old New Zealanders you have on the team. When they get to playing against Power 5 schools, it looks the same every year. They get dog-walked, and I leave the first round wondering what the hell was I thinking? Why'd I have them all the way in my Elite Eight? Yeah, no, I'm not doing it again this year.
You're a wise man.
I've learned finally. It took me a long time, but I've learned.
It's so tempting. And then it's just like, this is why we do the NCAA tournament, because there can be this narrative, there can be this whatever, talking heads can be like, oh yeah, this whatever team from a non-Power 4, Power 5 conference is fantastic. And then it's like, you meet up head to head and it's just...
That was my initial thought too when I saw them as a potential matchup in the second round. But it wouldn't be any more Michigan State than facing St. Mary's, and they just cannot miss.
Don't do
right.
that. Don't
like 62 to 58, low scoring. They're shooting
Please
2 of 19 from 3. Yeah, it's just miserable.
I don't like the energy you're putting out there.
It is a real scenario, but it's not the one I'm going to choose to live with.
All right, no.
I'm too superstitious for this stuff.
I appreciate it. You guys need to kind of walk me off the ledge a little bit.
Yeah, that's what we're here for, man. Yeah,
no,
we got
sure.
you.
I appreciate the support.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, there's a lot for Michigan State to still play for. It's a fantastic time of year. It doesn't get any better than this. Ending the season against your rivalry, Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament. Like, aren't we so blessed to be fans of this program? Yeah. I know me and Abby were talking in our last episode about just imagine being a fan of Indiana, where your team's been in the tournament twice in the last 8 years.
What do you do in March?
Yeah,
how do
where's
you
your
survive?
joy in life?
You don't smile, right? You're just waiting for the Masters, and even that's only 4 days long. I mean, no, I know. Truly though, this is an incredibly blessed fan base to be a part of. I mean, say what you will about the fall, I get it for sure, but it's actually nice, to be in a good mood as the weather starts. No warm up eventually or whatever. It's like double dopamine hits at the same time. No, this is good. No, I love being a Michigan State fan, so it's a great time of year.
Yeah, well, we appreciate your time, Matt. Thank you so much. Before you head out, anything you want to plug or say to our listeners?
Yeah. LockedOn Spartans over at YouTube or the podcast. We're pumping out content pretty much every single day this time of year. So if you want just more mental breakdowns, basketball breakdowns, whatever kind of breakdown you're looking for, we've got both for you over at LockedOn Spartans. I'll say it again, I do love this time of year, but simultaneously, it does nothing good to my mental health. I am a basket case this time of year, so come join the roller coaster.
And you've been killing it with your guests lately,
Thanks,
if
man.
I'm being
Appreciate
honest. You've been having banger after banger of guests,
Appreciate it.
and I've been enjoying listening to you, so definitely check out Matt and LockedOn Spartans. I know it's a staple for so many Michigan State fans, but if it's not a staple for you, check out LockedOn Spartans. Thank you so much, Matt. We appreciate it. As always, go green.
Go white. Let's go. Come on, guys. All right.